What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering, and we have some Google Stadia price leaks, and some of them are what I predicted early on, and some of my beta testers told me about, and some of them are a little bit different. Now, there is a conference a little bit later today that will confirm or deny these, but they seem authentic to me, so I think I'm going to go ahead and cover them. If anything drastically changes, you may not see this video. But I figured, why not mix in a video with some relatively benign news, some good news, some interesting news, something that we don't have to be angry about. So I do appreciate everyone supporting the channel. I know I've been doing 2 to 3 videos a day for the past couple weeks now, and you guys just keep coming out and liking the videos and leaving comments, and it's really been helping. So thank you so much. So before I get into that, a word from this video's sponsor. That's right, this video's sponsor is subscribestar.com/The Quartering. Many of you asked. This is a Patreon alternative that I use in case of the inevitable with YouTube. Check it out. No obligation, but it's there in case you'd like to read more. Let's get into the video. All right, well, some details of Google Stadia, including the price, total games at launch, and some more bandwidth information leaked today ahead of the event. Now, the website is a Canadian website, so the prices are probably in Canadian dollars, so translate if need be. So it's going to launch in November of this year in 14 countries, including Canada. You can pre-order the Founders Edition of Stadia for $169 right now, today, which includes the gamepad, a Chromecast Ultra, Destiny 2, and 3 months of subscription. Stadia works through a subscription only at first. The Stadia Pro sub costs $11.99 a month and will include streaming up to 4K 60 frames a second. Note that, quote, older games will be included in this sub, and more recent games will have to be bought separately. A separate sub will be available in 2020 and completely free. It will allow up to 1080p streaming and won't include any game like the Pro sub. 10 megabits in download, 1 megabit in up is minimal requirement, with 35 megabits required for 4K, quote, optimal comfort. You'll need a Chromecast for Stadia to work at launch, and it's planned to work through any Google device with Google Chrome in 2020. Games planned include Destiny 2, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, The Division 2, Doom, and all 3 Tomb Raider games. Lineup will have 31 games at launch. Now, I know everybody's concern around the bandwidth. I get it. I know that huge swaths of the country do not have this level of bandwidth, and obviously Google knows this and will be incentivized to push their fiber out even further into the suburbs. If you live in a major city or in any suburb around a major city, you probably have plenty of pipe to do it. So will Google Stadia launch and immediately be competing with consoles? No, I don't think so. But remember that the newest versions of the consoles, including Xbox and PlayStation, will likely also be relying heavily on cloud gaming. So the bandwidth requirements there aren't exactly nothing either. Today's the big day. Google Stadia Connect livestream is expected to unveil a load of information about the platform, including price, release date, and all the games available from day one. Google Stadia is a system for AAA titles like Assassin's Creed to your phone, tablet, PC, or TV. Trusted Reviews has compiled everything you need to know about Google Stadia, including the latest news, release date, price, games, and more. A leak has further detailed information ahead of the Google Stadia event too, with price, release, and launch game detailed. Google Stadia Connect price. Google has announced that Stadia Connect, an upcoming live stream event to take place at 5 p.m. BST, coming our way in E3 2019, will detail some of the information. But if you can't wait till then, you'll be pleased to know Canadian news site Google Stadia leaked details. The leak suggests Google Stadia will release in 14 countries, with the Founders Edition costing $169. The edition will reportedly include a gamepad, Chromecast Ultra, Destiny 2, and 3 months of subscription for the service. Now, I don't know, why you would get Why you would pay for this if you had a PC? This is a question. I mean, obviously you don't need a Chromecast device to play on your PC. So then why would you buy this? You're essentially paying $169 for the controller and a couple games, which you might already own. So I don't know if this is going to appeal to everybody. The leak also suggests that Stadia won't adapt a strict Netflix model like previous reports have reported. While there will be an $11.99 monthly subscription that allows streaming up to 4K 60 FPS, it will only bundle in the, quote, older games with modern titles requiring a separate purchase instead. That is very interesting. I thought the games would be free, but it looks like you're going to still have to pay for the games. So will the games be discounted? I certainly hope so. If I'm in a situation where I have to have a perfect premium connection all of the time in order to enjoy my game in the way I want to enjoy it, I would hope that the cost of these games is less. We'll have to see. It will only bundle in the, quote, older games with modern titles requiring a separate purchase instead. Coming 2020, an additional free subscription service will apparently become available, allowing users to stream already purchased games in 1080p. No games will be bundled into this free subscription, though, so you'll have to buy them all separately. There are 31 games rumored to release on Stadia so far, including Destiny 2, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, The Division 2, Doom, and every game in the new Tomb Raider trilogy. The leak also suggests 10 megabits down and 1 megabit up speeds will be the minimum required, with Google touting 35 megabit speeds for optimal comfort. Now, as most of my viewers will already know, not all internet speeds are created equal. You might have the downlink. You might have 200 down, but if it's high, super high latency and you have a high ping, are you going to get delays in the game? I would assume so. How much of this data is going to be buffered? Also, the questions come into for people that have data caps. There are people out there that have the real connection. For example, I have something like almost 400 down and 50 up. I live in a suburb. I don't live in a big city, but I live within 20 minutes of a big city. And I also have to pay $80 a month for that. The only reason I pay that much is because I'm uploading videos constantly here on the channel, which I hope you enjoy. And I know if you don't like Stadia, even if you don't like Stadia, hope you appreciate the reporting and you don't take it out on my thumbs down button. But obviously, Stadia will have issues. There's no doubt in my mind. But there are people like me and some of you who already have this pipe, and it's not going to be any big deal. Now, I will say I'm disappointed that on top of a subscription fee in the beginning here, you're not getting any games with that. My guess is maybe they're going to include some games each month for free, and you'll probably have to pay for AAA titles. Will they discount the AAA titles because you're being forced to stream them? I certainly hope so. I'm not really looking to play, The Division 2 on my cell phone. It just doesn't, it's not for me. I want to play it on my PC, and I think that Stadia obviously is going to appeal to, in the beginning here, really cutting edge people. Will I pick up a Founders Edition so I can let you all know how it works? Yeah, probably. But I don't have any interest in changing the way I already purchase games unless it's cheaper. Now, if you add the fact that it's going to cost me $12 a month, if that's Canadian, maybe call it $8, $9, or $10 a month, that's another $100 a year just for the option to purchase a game through their platform. I don't know how that's going to work. It'll launch in 2019, first in the US and Canada, the UK, and most of Europe. Yet no pricing information is available except for these leaks, but it's expected that Google will provide details today along with some of the titles it expects to be on the platform. If you're a developer that wants to help populate it, you can apply for access here. LaPresse.ca suggests it will launch with 14 countries during November, but we can't confirm this. Google Stadia is Google's entry into the game streaming market, and probably one that at this stage bears the most resemblance to popular streaming services like Netflix and Spotify. Because the heavy processing is done via computers in the cloud, your device becomes little more than a glorified screen. If you're old enough, you'll remember essentially this is a dumb terminal. This means Stadia will support 4K at 60 FPS at launch and has plans to hit 8K 120 FPS in the future, even if your device would normally struggle to run Pong. I don't know how... that's not a fair statement, I don't think. You still are going to need a decent computer to be bringing in that kind of bandwidth. But then again, if it's on a TV, is it going to be running at 120 frames a second on a TV? What about on your cell phone? Obviously, be limited by your screens, but to get this kind of impressive performance, Google is using its infrastructure of data centers to try and ensure that the server is always close to the player. Google's vision is to allow people to go from watching a trailer of the game to jumping straight into it by pressing with no download, no patch, no update, no install. As of yet, no games have been confirmed for Stadia other than Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Well, Doom is on there. We know that. Rumor games include these. We've confirmed this list once more Stadia games are confirmed. So, I don't know. I think most of my viewers will remain extremely skeptic. I think the idea that I have to pay for a subscription now on top of paying for the games, if the games are discounted, that seems insanity to me. Seems like such a terrible loss of value, unless I'm expected to think, well, because I can play it on my cell phone, I'm willing to pay more. I don't care. I don't do mobile games, but people out there do. And there are certain games like maybe Madden or like MLB The Show that I could play on my cell phone while I'm on a long trip if I'm not driving or on the airplane or something like that. So I suppose it's possible where I might get value for this, but I'm not really looking to sign up for another thing that's going to be $10 or $12 a month. Now, it will eventually be free. And 1080p gaming is pretty much fine for most people, especially normies, or if you're playing just regular sports games or normie games, stuff like that. So it'll be interesting to see. Nonetheless, I hope you appreciate the reporting. Thanks again to this video sponsor. Check it out, give it a try, and let me know what you think of the game. I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.